No ice, or no snow, all ice. It was like it's 20 degrees and you could hear the ice coming down. It's just too wet, I guess. Yeah, it's pretty messed up.
Yeah, it's about the same here, and it's weird, man. I just whatever. All right, so
Yeah,
first
but you have to
off,
understand Texas doesn't understand weather. So that's the
no, I do understand because I have family, aunts and uncles live in San Antonio. They had like an inch of snow, not even an inch, and no, they sent me a picture of it, and they sent me a picture of the news. The fire department issued a no walk warning, so there's people in tank tops falling down over two snowflakes. The funniest stuff I ever seen, man. It's sad, So they don't even have table salt in Texas, so they definitely ain't putting it on their roadways, right?
we don't. No, it's pretty embarrassing actually how bad the infrastructure for cold weather is. I mean, like last year, a couple of years ago, we had this massive ice storm and it just took down an entire grid. Like
Yeah,
it's it was really like almost like a third world like experience here in Texas of all places in our everyone's McMansion. It was just crazy. Thank goodness we had a
yeah.
gas fireplace because we just ended up like camping out in front of the fireplace.
All right. Well, hey, I'm gonna get the show on the road. They got lots of time, lots of things to do in little time. But hey, look, I see like Jody Lamb. Jody Lamb is here, and by the way, with Raquel, Jody Lamb, and Becky Wolf, and you. All right, some of the forerunners to the madness before we even knew that we was going to have a community and a pack and all this great stuff, and turning Annie Wu into Willy Wonka and all this, and now Johanna, is it Johanna Renee? But we turned her now. She's Bob Ross of LinkedIn. My goodness. And so I just wanted to say that, thank you guys, man. Y'all make this special. I get, look, Gabe, uh, Gabe is here. Gee whiz, Mary Baker. All right, y'all think my accent, I'm going to have Mary Baker on here. I'm not going to spoil it, but we're going to play the Guess Where Mary Baker is From game. And yeah, y'all going to hear it. Smart, sharp lady. Love talking to her the other day. Bobby Lee. And then Miss LaChelle Flores, huh? LaChelle, huh?
We've got quite a
Terminator.
few Australians here, sir. I don't know if you realize this, but Helen is out of Australia, and we've got Tony as well. So, I mean, we've got quite a few
Really?
international folks here. That's really always so
All right.
kind of you guys to join us. Thank
Well,
you.
good day. Good day to you, mate. I love Australia.
Oh,
And then
Nigeria.
DJ Flores. Look, Nigeria. Dang, we went international. Woo, man, they must have hit the wrong channel. They all lost the remote and they can't turn the channel. That's what it is. All right. So Michael Gale. Uh-oh, what happened to it? There it is. So I told y'all I was going to do the Peter Pans with my Pilates, right? Y'all thought I was kidding. Michael Gale, look. No. Hey, I got one for you too, brother. There we go.
Oh my God.
So, yeah.
Can I
See,
just
you get
tell
to make
you?
shorts.
No, that is okay. So when you guys did your video and you're like, is it a Peter Pan? I'm like, what the hell are you guys talking about? You guys are talking about leotards.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep. We
my.
got the man tights. The man tights. But see, hey, little fact, Michael Gale, I hope he ain't watching. He can't watch till 7:30. I'm okay. Hopefully you don't have a rerun. But so Michael Gale, that's his childhood hero. He started telling me everything about Peter Pan. I was like, I really wasn't like, I was more of a He-Man type of dude. But yeah, so me and you, bro. All right. And then maybe Jody Lamb, since she's doing Pilates, maybe I'll get 3. It will all just be just awesome.
Oh, you guys can rock that better than anybody else. Jody, I think it's going to be completely fine in whatever outfit she's got on. But you guys need to rock and own that. Like that is some.
She said she has a
awesome.
pink pair. She has a pair to coordinate. She did. All right.
That is hilarious.
So, man tight. Tony, is that for he? AU? Yeah, that's Australia. Man tight. Dina, jealousy. Dina, you get to see me in these first. I want to make sure it doesn't make my butt look big. So Dina, you get to tell me if I need to get a size up or not. All right. So now that goofiness is out of the way, hi Kimberly. All right.
I am frightened for that upcoming episode. I'm like literally in my head right now thinking of like, how do I quickly cut? How do I cut quickly before someone kicks us off LinkedIn and complains?
Now, dude, it's going to go downhill from here because y'all know I got Dan the Man Roth and America's Supermom. So it's just, it's not going to get better. So go ahead and sign off now. Okay, it's just the rodeo and the clown show is just going to keep popping. I promise you. All right, because I'm having fun today. I'm tired of being serious. Speaking of that, uh, about being serious. So I was in a serious today, serious mode. Got lots to do, and I have a sinus infection because that's what happens in January in Kentucky, and February. And then I look down at my phone and I see this text, and it's just a bunch of random letters. Basically, I got a text message from my buddy that just went blah 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 blah. And it's
Right.
funny because every now and then I get a text from this lady, and it's like World War II trying to decode a Morse code signal coming in, and I know why, because she's busier than me, right? And you go ahead and show anytime. She's busier than me, and then she uses the voice to text, right? But voice to text doesn't work when you sound like me and a hillbilly. All right. So that's the text message. That's what my reply was. I said, you just said blah, 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 blah. Hey, remember Police Academy? Anybody remember Police Academy? Remember Bobcat?
Oh yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait.
That's what
Yeah,
my,
rest
like,
in
I heard,
peace. I
I'm
think
trying
he
to
just
send
passed.
her a text message. A very important message. All right. So anybody, my good buddy, hopefully we're still buddies. Jody Lamb, she is an absolute pro. I don't know if y'all seen her content, what she does. She can take a complex subject like structural settlements that nobody wants to hear about or understand and make it simple and meaningful. Because look, nobody, I don't know and care until I get injured one day, and now I got a bunch of people barking stuff at me, and my life's turned upside down. I can't pay my electric bill. That's what she's doing. She wants people to know if you ever find yourself in a horrible life-changing situation, you're not alone. All right. So shameless plug, go connect with, follow. Uh, I love how she thinks, what she's about. Good people and a great pack leader. We all love her to death. She always shows up for people. And she was there. She was there at the tail end of Johanna, right? Johanna, the LinkedIn Bob Ross. Uh, so I love this community. Everybody in the chats that shows up for each other. Man, it's what it's about. So, and then I started the day off with a serious note. Um, Michael Gale and Becky Wolf. If guys, look, man, if they can coach me and I can actually get stuff done through them, I mean, what else do you got to say? Any company, anybody out there should hire them immediately, right? They can actually take me and turn me into a better human being with knowledge. And so today I was excited. Today, and since I picked on her spinner earrings, the tackle box she stole from me, since I picked on her last week, I want to make sure that people knew, man, when it comes to, she just doesn't work with healthcare companies and airports and stuff. She works with people, leaders, entrepreneurs. So anybody who wants to get an edge, understand what they're doing, why they're doing it, facing things like burnout, retention, or even personal issues, right? Just trying to figure out what steps is next, right? Like I had my stuff together until last month when I didn't, right? When I went full time in 2 businesses, one of them I didn't know nothing about. And she has been instrumental. Becky Wolf has really been helping me at this. Figure it out, not waste time on nonsense, outsource things that aren't. And sometimes you can't see the forest from the trees. See, so
100.
Having somebody else on the outside who knows what they're doing, who can have a fun conversation, doesn't feel like coaching. But I walked away excited. And then my day got goofy, and then Jody went blah 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 in the text, and from there, here we are. So
I love that.
Go show them some love. They're always supporting and helping people, and this is what it's about, guys. So hey, without further ado, nope. One last thing. This is very important. All females out there. All right, all women. Now I had to be careful. Thank goodness that I had to be careful. We'll do your thing right after the outro, so people come back and look. So I said, hey, I want to do something special for Women's Month. And Women's Month is our month, right? Because not 97% of women are in the pack. So I got to be. But thank goodness I talked to women about stuff, because I said, hey, I'm going to go on the show and tell them I'm looking to 4 to 5 up and coming women, and I need 5 professional women. And that just sounded creepy as hell. So what I mean by this is we're going to do some mentorships on this show, okay, every Wednesday in March. And I want to pair some folks that are just tremendous and been instrumental to myself. But I met some younger, up and coming type of, people, ladies, 22, 28 years old. And they're asking me the same questions, right? Well, I'm thinking about going part-time, in my own business, but I'm scared. And should I have a niche and all this? And I said, well, I could answer that question, right? But how much better is it that like LaChelle can't say no more, right? If you're coming out of law school and you get to talk to her, wow, right? That's pretty daggum cool. She knows her stuff, right? If you're going into finance and Jody Lamb's talking to you about what to expect, right? The questions you have and you think makes you a weirdo. Well, Jody's like, nah, I've done that 10 years ago, right? Like, let me help you through it. So my point is, at the end of the show, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what I'm looking for. All right. And each show this month, and I'll put posts out there so you don't have to remember to watch this whole thing, because I wouldn't expect any of y'all to watch all of me, especially with Dan and my Gail to my Oprah over at SuperMom. Woo, that's a lot of stuff to take in 1 hour after work. So that's me. If you want to roll the outro, and then bring up your stuff, Sia, I'm good to go. I just want to make sure everybody knew that. And Miss LaChelle Flores, right? The connection, LaChelle Flores Connection Corner. Y'all showed up in drones for her, man, and she is awesome. Like, she kicks my butt now, and I'm excited. That's how you know you're a good leader, when you help somebody grow and they kick your butt, and you're like, yay! You know, that's why this pack is special. So all are welcome, and Sia, do whatever you want. Roll the outro and do you.
All right, let's do this.
And intro.
Are you looking to grow your business and your mindset alongside a fun and awesome pack? Grab a chair and your favorite beverage and join Mike Ashebrainer, the business mechanic, and his win-win network for the Hounds of Business Happy Hour.
You're back.
Steve, huh? Yeah.
We're back. Did you miss us, everyone?
Yeah. Dude talks for 12 minutes and then rolls an intro. Jesus, you better grab a Snickers. That might be an 8-hour show, dude.
It's all good. All
right. So you had something special, and tell us about it.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about, so I've been making some posts about collaboration, true collaboration, and I posted this one little short between Nick Smethurst over in the UK, a Mancunian, and LaChelle Flores, and yourself and myself doing some puns and whatnot. And, I'm a big believer in how do we cross promote each other in a natural way that's entertaining, that provides value, that people care about, are interested, and it just makes sense, right? And sometimes if it doesn't make sense, how much fun is it if it doesn't, right? You just figure out those connections.
That's how we got started. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just decided to pull this out of my AAAA asterisks, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this segment where we just challenge each other with riddles. Like I figure, like on a Monday morning, why not kick it off? It sharpens your mind. It focuses you for a lot of the folks that are just trying to like get their, cobwebs off from the weekend. Sometimes a little puzzle, simple brain teaser just kind of gets you in the mood to like say, okay, let's go. I can rock this. So I did do a post on Monday, and it is this one. You want to read it, Mike?
Yep, I remember pretending to read this. Yes, ma'am.
Pretending to read it. Okay, guys, I'm taken from a mine and shut up in a wooden case from which I am never released. And yet, I am used by almost everybody. What am I? So I made it a two-parter. And I just said, hey, make a guess and make a funny, really wrong guess. I'm just really intrigued. And for those that humor me the most, I'm going to give you an opportunity to highlighted on one of my productions as a Brilliant Beam Media production, and or with any of my other clients. If you've got a very interesting background, that'd be of value to their audience. So I had a lot of interesting answers. So everyone sound off in the chat. Like, does anybody have any guess as to what that answer is? And I'm not going to go through everyone's answer because apparently I'm like already hella behind on this, but oh, look at that. Boom. So the answer is, that's right, Mohammed, it's a pencil. So it was very interesting because in American terms, we think of a lead pencil, right? But I think lead hasn't been really used as the insert in pencils for many, many years now, and it's graphite. So I can tell who my international audience are based on their answer and the fact that they'll say graphite over lead, etc. So I thought that was pretty freaking cool on that. So
Are you sure that's the right answer? That don't look right to me. Put that back up there.
Put what? This one?
Yeah. Let me read that again.
Well, I told you to read the first time, young man.
Well, I read it 3 times. I still went.
I'm taken from a mine, shut up in a wooden case, from which I am never released, and yet I'm used by almost everybody.
It'd be
Pencil
graphite
case.
then. It would be a pencil because you take a pencil out of a case, and the graphite would come out of the pencil, right?
Right. Well, hey,
So the
hey,
correct answer is graphite.
look, mister, the puzzle place I took it from said pencil, okay? But I think you're
Okay,
right.
well,
It is graphite. So
I just
anyway,
look
okay.
dumb. I'm not dumb. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh gosh, no, you're good. So anyway, so what we ended up doing, I go on, like I love these comments coming out here. So I do want to give a special shout out. So I couldn't decide between winners, and I just wanted to go with Kimberly Moore and Daniel Rakestraw. So I'm going to offer it to both of you ladies because I loved your answers. It cracked me up. So just real quick here, Danielle, you just like you just killed it for me because you said the space inside of a coffin, and I was like.
That's what I was thinking.
I love that. Because my sense of humor. So I just love that. And then on top of that, Kimberly, and if you notice the theme, so I don't know if you two know each other, but Kimberly, you said cinematic vampires. So apparently you guys are in sync here between coffin and vampires. So I loved your answer. It cracked me up. And so ladies, I will reach out to you guys over DM. Congratulations. And you'll have your choice. You'll have your choice of, what kind of way we could do it. Either I just highlight you in a LinkedIn post. You're invited to join us for a live stream, or you can guest on another person's podcast. We'll talk about it, which one that works best for you and your business and your branding, and we'll take it from there. I'm excited to get to know you guys as well, and your sick sense of humor. I just love it. On that note, I do want to add a little bit more special shout out. There was a John McCartney, which just messed me up because out of the UK, I was like, oh my God, it's John Paul Ringo McCartney. I know I'm a Beatles fan. Another one was, let's see here, Felipe Cofino. Really appreciate you. Another really great answers as well. Gabe Raggio, Jonas Bull. He's my little polymath friend who can never answer one word. It's got to be like a paragraph in all his answers. So Rocco Catucci, just want to give you guys all, and Sean Hobson, you guys, hilarious answers. I appreciate it. I'm sorry you didn't win this time. Perhaps maybe next week we'll win. So that is it in a nutshell on my end. So thank you very much for being gracious to give me a platform to promote other content creators.
Yeah, no, man. And I know Kimberly Moore. I had no idea that she did that and won anything. And that's good. That's a great opportunity. And yeah, she's going to be excited. And Danielle, nice to meet you. Hope you're here. And if you're not here, you lost. You take it away. You don't get it now because I'm petty. All right. All right. Petty man. All right. So, by the way, look, I didn't know I was going to get a sinus infection, and now I didn't want to go to the store in the ice, and I'm just kind of lazy. So since I got this out, the Redneck Kleenex, yeah, that's toilet paper. All right. So roll this way or this way. So if somebody puts the toilet paper roll and the roll is facing against the wall, do you kick them out of your house? Do you divorce them, or does it matter?
I have very firm opinions on that, sir. So it should be over. I have actually been to people's homes and switched it at parties. Parties. Not if I'm just like visiting one-on-one, I don't do it. But if it's a party, I will flip it over because I assume, the toilet roll will get used anyway.
Hey, you do that in the South, you're going to have a problem. Seriously, if you go in a country people's house, the country people, when they got the waste paper basket, because their septic tank going to clog. Anyway, that's another show. But if that ranks up there with, hey, that's my wife. All right. So that's a dangerous thing to play in the South. You don't want to be, don't. Hey, we're going to talk to a man who has no idea about what I'm talking about, but he's going to get educated real quick today. All right. So let me check.
Even Jody, me, dear. Just throwing it out there. Yep. One
she says
hundo,
not the end
over.
Of the world, but I don't know.
Stephanie Park, over. Okay, Now Johanna, you are an artist. I love her answer. It's never on the holder. I love that.
It's never on the holder. Yeah, okay, that's my people right there. Yeah, it's rolling around the floor with the other 3 I can't reach. Yeah, thank you.
DJ's my friend. Thank you. Always over and thank you. Yes, thank you. See, I knew
All
there's why we need to be friends.
right. See, I might do a contest now. I might go, okay, who gets to join me and Michael Gale? And a free, if you put it free over, man, this is getting weird as hell. All right. So
You're the
let's
one
get
to
more,
post it.
dude. I'm telling you. All right. So let's bring up some sensical stuff in people right now. So
Fun and games. Okay. This is a serious
What'd you-
conversation today, yeah?
oh yeah, I forgot you get to stay on. I don't know. Did we vote on that? Did we vote on you staying on today?
If you want to kick me off, you're more than welcome to, my friend.
Yeah, well, you took it. Ever since I called you out on Miss LaChelle Flores Connection Corner about bathing for her show and not bathing for my show, you know, went all out. So I appreciate that. Let's give her a round of applause. Good job. Yep, makeup, bath, soap, dude. That's what I'm talking about. I'm a fancy guy, if you haven't noticed. So I keep it up. All right.
If it wasn't for the fact that it's 20 degrees outside in Texas, I would not be wearing this really thick sweatshirt. And by the way,
that's nice. Very nice.
Right.
Like the tablecloth. Yes, ma'am. Usually you're wearing like a Grateful Dead t-shirt with a pizza stain on it when we're like back, you know, and if I'm wearing a shirt, it's questionable, right? With a napkin. So we're actually dressed like for church.
You're trying to age, okay, dude, at least bring it up slightly more than Grateful Dead. Like move it up a decade at least, just slightly.
Well, you know, because you're Floridian, you know, you'll look the same until you're like 70. And then you'll start looking old. So nobody cares. All right. So I didn't know this. So LaChelle Adkins, American Supermom. So I saw a post a while back about Happy C-Section Day, right? And I just thought it was a joke. I don't know. I mean, I never had one. But then I started seeing like Happy, like, you know, Pottery Day and stuff. And I'm like, is this for real? Well, I knew the culprit behind it was the Gail to my Oprah over, Miss LaChelle Adkins. And now I found out because obviously February 1st, all right, show landed on it. It's the first day in the kickoff to Black History Month. But it's also, little did I know, because I don't have a calendar. They ain't came to Kentucky yet. Calendars have not. Paper calendars maybe soon. But it's National Freedom Day. And everything about that sounds good to me. I love the word freedom, you know, strive for that. So that's why she is up here to give us a little fun education. And then we're going to get into some real chat about whatever, pretty much, about what's happening. So, LaChelle, I'm glad you're not at the store, number one. And number two, it's good to see you. How are you?
Oh my God. You know what?
I am glad to be here.
I'm sorry, LaChelle. You were kind enough to join his show when you were at your poor child's concert. Mike, I have to defend my girl. I'm sorry. Gotta defend.
I love it. I love it. You know, we got to come together and unite. I love this, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm excited to be here again. I love, you know, I'm back here cracking up the whole time while you're talking, you know, and we all need a good laugh. I tell you, laughter is good like medicine. But yes, it is Freedom Day. And, you know, for me, I just did a post right before the show that I am glad to be free from depression, overwhelm, burnout, all those topics that we don't want to talk about. So for me, that's what I'm excited about being free from. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, you know?
I sure can. And by the way,
Mike? What are you free from?
Thoughts, real quick, you got to, if you say burnout, you got to say burnout 3 times because, like Beetlejuice, Becky Wolf will pop out and just go crazy because that's her jam, right? That's her thing. So burnout.
That's her thing. Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna save that for Becky. Okay. I don't want to steal her thunder. Okay. Yeah.
You'll see her in the chat. She'll be like, did someone say burnout? Oh, I love. Well, she don't love burnout. She just loves helping people like me burn out, crash and burn because we're hyper and don't know when to chill. So, yeah, man, freedom. I mean, again, I grew up in work hard, pay the bills. And I just nobody really talked about freedom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, we were free as a country, as a nation, and, you know, those kind of things, but it just wasn't lived out daily. And I really had to get around, you know, people who really taught me their definition of freedom, right? Not just when it comes to money, but time, freedom of time, freedom in your mind, Because again, I overcame depression and things like this and guard against it. So, again, it's not. I mean, most people do. I don't know why we still hide the fact that we have problems and
Mhm.
get depressed in 2023. This ain't 1823, right? Like it's 2023. So, tell us about what
Yeah.
inspired you to do all the million things you do with 400 kids running around and help the world, because you've had your own experience with depression and things like this, and it prompted you to take action and books and every webinars and all kind of stuff. So where did you come from, and what is Freedom Day? I'll spit it out here. Come on, Porky. Why is Freedom Day special to you?
Well, one, I'm glad about nationaltoday.com because that little website helps me to find out about so many days that I really didn't know were out there. But, when I think about freedom and, we're talking about Black History Month, and we could talk about how, the origin of slavery and all these different things. But I think, one thing about that is really understanding our mindset, because we could be free. It doesn't matter what our color of skin is, but we could be prisoners of our own mind, right? It's really about our mindset. And a lot of these issues are relevant when it comes to depression or people pleasing, seeking validation. I mean, the list can go on and on. So I love being able to speak and share my truth about life, how it looks through my eyes, so that other people can have a sense of being able to relax and not feel so much pressure. So we were just laughing before we hit record how Sia was like, this isn't working right, and she's like, I'm a perfectionist, and I think we all struggle with that. But when we learn to just have fun and realize, what is it that we want to accomplish? What's our goal? And people begin to know us and they know our personalities. So, we can relax a little and we can co-create with everybody and
Hmm.
make it all better in the end. So that's just my thought on it.
Yeah, no, I share that with you, man. And prisoners of our own minds. My gosh, I blamed everybody and
Mhm.
everything and corporate and economies, and I blamed bosses and people and girlfriends and things. You know what? It was me all this time. Dadgummit, look, 38 years it took. Hey, better late than never. Sia is like, me too. Yeah, we all know. I always tell
Yes.
you it's you, though. When it's me and Sia, it's always Sia. But in most cases in my life, it's been me, right? And by the way, uh,
Yeah.
Gabe said, "Damn, that's a big cup, Mike." Well, it says hug in a mug, and SuperMom was here, and it just happened to pull it out. Because I knew it was going to be a while. Like, look at this, like a 40-ounce or 40-gallon cup, because yeah, we like to talk.
I've
I
got a big
like to
one
talk.
too. I got a big one too. Cheers.
Yes, yeah, I know, with the smiley face. So here's what I caught what you said. What I want, man, that was the difference. And I think everybody here's heard my little story about when I woke up at 40, saw the second gray hair, and it just dawned on me. My internal dialogue went like this. You know what? If I can't be happy and peaceful and enjoy life, doing what I'm doing in my career, then I'm going to go be a damn rodeo clown or something I can be happy and good and successful
Mhm.
at. And I just dropped all the
Mhm.
nonsense and people didn't like me. Okay, you don't like me. And then that's how this community got built. I was just trying to make friends, like Facebook guy, like Zuckerberg. I just want to make some friends, so I just started, sharing my crayons, and people didn't slam the door in my virtual face. I realized I was on to something, right? And that I
Mhm.
felt good. I didn't have to be good at sales because it was easy to sell to people who loved you to death and you did the good things for, and then they were curious, right? Good people
Mhm.
reciprocate. We'll talk about this with Dan the Man, but what specifically do you want to share with everybody watching, about anything about the Freedom Day? I know, didn't you have a video or something? Tell us about it and we'll show it.
Okay, yeah. This is really me celebrating the second season of my live stream TV series. This series is all about empowering women. The first season really was behind the scenes of what it was like building the brand of America's Supermom. It was only a few episodes, but it was just kind of like an overview how I incorporated my kids and everything in my brand. The second season was about me having women and other guests to help empower us. I think when we're able to be vulnerable and tell the truth about some of the things that we struggle with, then we can eliminate the excuses for everybody else. So the name of my series is Real Life Without Excuses, because a lot of us get caught up in the highlight reel of other people and we start comparing ourselves to something that's not real. So when you think about a highlight reel or your best post that goes viral, a lot of times it has been edited and re-edited, and the picture has been taken 1,000 times before you post it. And so that's what we're comparing ourselves to, that one moment when we feel like everything is perfect, but you can't maintain a life like that. So I love to share my story, because when people hear the truth, they say, if she can do it with all that, then I can do it. And so it's about really being able to empower people and inspire them. I did a post earlier about, my office is a mess. I mean, to me it's organized, but it's a lot of stuff. Okay. Um, but I believe that, you got to have fun. You got to know what your strengths and weaknesses are. I can't be perfect in everything. I want to be perfect in the things that I love and I'm passionate about. So I just have a messy office, and my kids, they understand, and so
You
I
love your
think
knickknacks. Yeah.
Hey
I
man,
collect them all the time.
Einstein
Yeah.
had a saying, man, like he's talking about, his cluttered desk is a sign of, of the mind, right? So not necessarily the same.
Yeah, I think it's the thing of being fearful that you're going to forget an idea. So I have a lot of ideas and I write them all down, but I feel like if I move them away from me, that for some reason I'm going to lose them. So everything is by my desk in the arm's reach. So yeah.
I was
Interesting.
gonna
Well,
say what it's a sign of is that she needs some drawers next to her desk of what it is. What
I
and,
have
and I
that
don't mean
too. I
and I don't mean drawers as in like pants, because that's what us country people say, drawers, right? We're talking about our breeches, right?
right. I know what you're
Our
saying.
jeans. But I mean
I
chest of
know what you're
drawers.
saying.
Man. All right.
Yeah.
So so
I've
life
got
without
it all.
excuses.
Yeah. But I have an
Life
acronym for freedom. But yeah, you guys can show the clip if you want. I'm
you
here,
tell it.
you know. Hmm.
do we have permission and we can play the clip, or do you want to play? Give us the
Yeah,
acronym of
go
freedom
ahead.
first. All right, let's do this.
I'm excited about that.
What is it that you have really grown to appreciate when it comes to having a large family?
I just feel like I'm stronger already in numbers.
I saw you on his show, so I reached out to you, and now here we sit.
I love that. This is one of the things that a lot of people are intimidated about when it comes to networking and getting out of your comfort zone.
All
It
right.
was nice.
So that's just a little sneak peek. You can see the show on Zandra TV Network. So I have an episode with a few of my kids. Not all 15 of them are there, but I think we have like 9 or 10 of them. So that's that are there on the show.
Oh,
And what's this? Tell us about that. Go ahead and tell us
yeah,
about that.
I hit the
I-
wrong button. Sorry, kids.
No, I'll bring it back up. Tell us your
All
We're
right.
acronym.
going
Bob.
with it. We're going with this here. Yeah,
Tell
so
us the
this is
acronym.
so this is my new book. It is really like a guided journal. It's a template for other women. Men have used it too. I do have a few men that have purchased the book, and I've really enjoyed the journey that I take them on. But it is like a guided journal. I talk about my 7 steps that have helped me to remove the mask of perfection, people pleasing, and all the things that I struggle with. And so they answer questions for their own journey, how they can do the same thing. And it also has a soundtrack with 2 of my children in it. So that is what I have going on. And so every month I have a masterclass with that. But my acronym for freedom is I'm just going to go through it quickly, is fearless, resting, emotional balance, empowerment, discipline, originality, and mental wellness. So I believe that each of those areas are really important for us to think about, when it comes to freedom, and I think I just really want to emphasize that it's not about perfection. I came up with this saying a few weeks ago that done is the goal, not perfection. Because if we can just get started, then we can take that momentum to keep moving forward. So as many of us can see, there's beta for everything, beta for new apps and, new programs and all this different stuff, because people are just getting started. You can tweak it, you can make it better as you go on your journey. But if we never get started, we're never going to be able to accomplish what we want to accomplish. So just really impressing on people that, just do it. Just get out there, keep your expectations low enough so that you can get started and not beat yourself up by trying to strive for perfection.
Yeah, because it don't exist, and nobody wants it if it did.
Right.
I wouldn't want it if it did. I don't know. I'm good enough. That's what I told some people today. I was like, hey, you trying to be perfect? How about we just hit good enough, and then we'll talk about it. Because once you hit good enough, you probably don't need nothing else. That's what I've noticed. I'm not perfect. I'm good enough.
Yeah.
And so, real life without excuses. Close season 2, about to go into another one. I don't know who out there could not benefit from being not just a part of your book, reading your book, being on but just being around you. That's why this is what this is about. This live stream, the Hounds of Business, the Eagles Pack, all of this community building. It's there to get people like you visible, because now people can see you and they go, oh gosh, I'm so glad she's there. It'd be like walking around Walmart with a blindfold. Well, you think nothing's in there. That's what the problem. That's the solution that we seek to bring on LinkedIn and just in general, is there's great people out there with great things, and you're not alone. You don't have to run around depressed and bury your head in the sand, right? That's what this community is. It's like, and you know how it can be distracting, right? So Johanna was doing her art, and all of a sudden there's like, 6 hounds there just cracking jokes. And the poor thing it took her like 2 extra hours to paint her portrait, because we were over there just like, talk to us on the live stream, but she had a ball.
Yeah.
That's probably, ask her in the comments. That's probably the happiest painting she ever did, right? So the more the merrier. You're a fun lady. I've talked to a lady yesterday who's talking about you, and I told her to yell at you, Kimberly. I told her to yell at you. You know what I'm talking about, because you ain't telling me what you're doing, because I can't spotlight it up here if you don't tell me. All right. So you're good people. You stay put. All right. You stay put. We're going to bring Dan the man on. And yeah, there he. Oh, wait a minute. That's Dan, but I thought he lived in California though. What? That don't look like California. Does he get? Is he by satellite?
He's doing a world tour right now.
Oh, he's getting in the redneck spirit. Is that what's happening, Dan?
Oh, I don't know. Are you done?
Maybe we lost Dan.
Let me try that. I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
It must be sunny out there. You just the country people wear their glasses all the time. That's what it is, isn't it?
I love that hat. That hat is like the best hat ever. Like,
I know. I need
that
that.
hat.
It's red, white, and blue. I'm loving it. Okay.
It looks edible.
I love the
I told him to send it. I said I want him to send it to me after the show, because I know he probably won't wear it after he breaks up with me. But I said put it on dry ice, because I think it's edible. Is it edible? Is that hat edible? Is it made of candy?
Yeah, it's made out of the tears of the Confederates that lost in the Civil War.
Oh my goodness gracious! But I see Michael Gale. Hey, Michael Gale, you missed this earlier. I got us our Peter Pans, buddy. Pilates on me tomorrow. All right, sorry, go ahead. How are you today, Mr. Dan?
I'm here, my friend. I'm here. LaChelle, love the work that you're doing with Faye, and I know how important today is for so many people. So shout outs. And, I've been trying to get on a show with Sia for God knows how long. So happy to finally be here with you.
What?
Yes,
You've never said a word to me. He's never said a word to me about getting on a show together. In fact, he's like, hey, Sia, like, you of all people, just don't take it personal, but you would not vibe on my show. I get it. It's cool.
That's not
I speak out of
accurate.
turn.
That's not accurate.
I speak out of turn.
That's not accurate at all. I mean, the only reason I want to get onto Mike's show is that I can work with you. I mean, I don't know anything about being redneck. I just know about Sia. And apparently we're allowed to say that she just got out of the shower. I don't know.
Yes. Mind you, I'm a Californian though. That's why I live in Texas. So that's why I probably can say what I say.
Yeah, I mean, well, the way I figure it is you have such large bugs out there that you get smashed on. You have to take a shower every 3 hours just to keep the bugs off of you.
Yeah, like bird-sized mosquitoes. Absolutely. Yeah, only in Texas. Everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
So Dan, you've been listening.
I'm having to be careful because today is an important day. You know, today is the start of Black History Month, and I don't say anything out of turn, so all good.
Hey, you be you. That's what it's about. Okay,
No,
this is Freedom Day.
Respect
this is Freedom Day.
Yeah, and I understand that, but there's also a level of respect that I want to have too much on the on that side of things.
Oh my gosh!
I see that.
Wait a minute.
I think
Was that
you
a
know
rooster?
what, you bring up a good point, Dan, because see, a lot of people are afraid to have conversations around certain things. They feel like they can't be themselves, and this is how we keep that separation or barrier, you know, because that's the problem with depression. A lot of times people don't know what to say, so we don't talk about it, and it continues, and more people struggle with it. They suffer in silence instead of just being themselves and saying, hey, I don't really know about this. Can you inform me or whatever?
Well, I got to be honest with you, and I haven't said this to any of you. So earlier today, we did, and we had Rosemary Kemp Stevens on it, and we wound up running for like 2 hours because the impact she was saying. So I felt weird coming on here today because you have such seriousness, even though like Black history is American history and global history, that it felt very weird for me going to this strong juxtaposition where I'm sitting here having incredibly emotional conversation and there's nothing wrong with having, you know, joking around and stuff like that, but it's a very weird feeling to have that kind of opposite end of the spectrum. So I'm glad you're here because I know you feel that.
Yeah. You know, and I don't like feeling like that. So I like to say it like it is because, you know, I have kids that, you know, I've got a 33-year-old son and I have an 8-year-old. How do you explain that to both ends of the spectrum? And I think the whole thing is expressing things in a way where people are curious to kind of ask for themselves, but they have to feel comfortable to ask. You know, like people come up to me sometimes, oh, I like your hair. Can I touch it? You know, because I think that's good for us to explore and have curiosity and ask those questions rather than always wondering and then not even feeling comfortable enough to ask. I don't know. That's just my thing.
I'll tell you straight up, we got my and for those that don't know, I have 23-year-old girls. We got my girls a book called Please Don't Touch My Hair. And it talks about Black hair. And the goal is that for us to bring up this, I know Mike didn't want to go here, so it is what it is. For us to bring up the next generation of anti-racists, I feel like we have to get them started from an early age because it's all about the parenting and bringing them up with the right information to allow for more educated children to grow into adults.
But see, you know, I think that's, I was going to say one thing. I think people, it depends on their upbringing, but if you are, I can only speak from being a parent. And when kids are curious, they touch things, they try to eat them. You know, that's how they begin to figure out how things work. So yes, some people might have a problem with it, but, you know, understanding if you go back to how people learn, some people learn by touching things. Some people have to just see it. And so we're getting into deeper things, but, you know, it's all in your own belief system. So if you have a issue with somebody coming up and touching your hair, that's where we communicate and we are just ourself about it. You know, it might not even be that, but it could be like, oh my gosh, I feel like you're invading my space or whatever. You know, sometimes we think it's one thing, but that's where the communication and being approachable so we can ask these things. And, you know, because I think there is no cookie cutter way, you know, I might not have a problem with it, and you think, okay, it's fine, because we do a lot of generalizing. We're like, oh, well, LaChelle didn't have a problem with this, so we think everybody thinks like me, rather than it's the same thing as like if somebody likes carrots or not. Some person might like carrots, another one might be allergic to them or whatever. So we always kind of generalize a lot of things instead of just taking it person by person. But go ahead, Sia. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh no. I mean, as far as an Asian person, like touching people's heads is like a no-go because it's a disrespect to them, because the head is considered like the optimum place. So if you're patting someone on the head, pulling their hair, you're disrespecting them and their presence. So there's the reason why you see, you know, you don't see them touching each other. We're not one of those, you know, cultures that are big fond of being touchy feely, right? It's we respect. Yet, ironically enough, they're all very intimate space, but I think it has a high density population issue. But it's a very interesting thing about, like, you know, again, cultural reference points, right? And it's okay to be educated. I think that's a big thing is for people who aren't of a certain culture, it's okay to ask a question and be open to the response of it. But I think it's, you know, I think it's just the attitude of once you're learning it, is this something that is, you know, open for conversation versus, oh, well, this is the way how I got brought up and this is the way it's going to be and suck it up buttercup kind of mentality, if that makes sense.
It does.
Hey.
We had something called the Jufro, and I don't mean that to be funny. Growing up, because like my dad has really staticky hair. My father actually had a fro growing up, so like I'll never understand the experience, but at the same time, I have that reference point.
That's interesting. Yeah. No. You know, here's a funny thing though, because America is like often taught and told to be like we're land of the free, home of the brave, multicultural melting pot. But yet at the same time, at least anecdotally for me, I don't see a ton of you know, melting potness. You know, I grew up in California, even in Southern California. I noticed that people just kind of segregated in a way. And I don't think it was like intentionally meant to be malicious. I think it was like that commonality, right? So did you guys, like, I grew up in California, like I said, so that was kind of my college experience and coming up. And I grew up in Orange County, so Orange Curtain for anyone that knows. It's kind of like the equivalent of like
high rent district,
well, you know, it's called Orange Curtain for a reason, but it's kind of like the equivalent of people in Austin and Texas. They're like, you know, an island of blue and a sea of red. Well, Orange County was like, you know, an island of red and a sea of blue, you know? So, but I'm just curious about your guys' like experiences. Like, did you notice it was like in your college experiences, was it a natural segregation or was it just my experience in my college?
After you.
Well, mine was pretty much, it was the same for me. I was in a predominantly white institution, and it was the same in high school and all through my academic career. So I grew up in Indiana, and I was a business major. So at Indiana University in Bloomington, Indiana. So, but I think, you know, it's still a situation to where understanding the influence that you have and how you can use that to educate other people, you know, and it just depends on your industry or certain things. Now I live in Georgia now, and it's like the tables have turned, you know, it's very strange. It was very strange for me. We've been here for 18 years now, moving here because I was not used to that. I was the only African American in a lot of my classes. So, so that was how it was for me growing up.
I had a bit of a different take, and here's why. Growing up, being neurodiverse ADHD, I was very oblivious to a lot of it in college. In fact, I barely got into college actually failed out, had to fight to get back in. So while a lot of other people were socially aware, I was really not one of them. I was so focused on my schoolwork that I'm not going to say that I was blind to what was going on. Certainly understood the dynamic that I was in, but the bulk majority of the work that I was doing from a diversity, equity, inclusion perspective was more correlated to women's empowerment. So, again, I knew what was around me, but I'm not the right person to say this was segregated or that was segregated. I wasn't as aware. It maybe woke is the right word to use in this circumstance as I became a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
Am I ching, Sia? Is this better?
You're I think I'm wondering if it's your back screen might be glitching. You're kind of cutting it out. There's like a.
All right, let me adjust. I will take this off and see if that works. Yeah, it's the background screen.
No, you're still clicking. I still hear the clicks. I'm not quite sure if it's me or does anybody else hear his clicks? No? Okay.
Well, everyone, here's breaking the fifth wall. This is my green screen.
Well, hey, you know what's funny? That's my favorite color, so I actually prefer that. I'm like, why are you covering that beautiful color up? It's my favorite.
Well, I'm literally colorblind. Like, I'm not even talking about it in the DEI sense. So I couldn't even. The only reason I know it's a green screen is because that's what it said when I bought it.
Yeah, no.
And see, after what he did to me, you should have told him it was orange and asked him why it was orange. Because I was over trying to be nice to him the other day, and he's like, "Oh, I'm colorblind." And I'm like, "Yeah, thanks, Dan. Like, I don't have enough problems saying crazy shit. I mean well." But hey, I got glitched out, and I missed all the good talk. So I'm still stuck on this. SuperMom, you got to help me here. So I did the math. I found a calendar. I was in Atlanta at the end of January, and that's when June. Yeah. And that's when I was on your show. And not one time, correct me if I'm wrong, not one time did you once tell me that I can go down there and touch your hair. Not one time. So I'm going to go down there in another year and a half. And in a year and a half, all right, I will make sure this is on my calendar.
Okay.
Son of a
All right. So now,
all right.
You can
we gotta do a broadcast with the touching of the hair. Okay.
Oh my god,
man! I'll be weird too. I'll be like, yeah,
This is the shit I was worried you were going to say today. Like,
you're never ready for Mike.
Raquel.
I mean, you're never ready for him. Okay, I'm just saying.
Hey,
yeah.
I might not have hair in a year and a half, so you might want to come here and touch it now because it might be gone by the time I come back to Atlanta.
Who other than the hounds would take a freaking serious conversation? Next thing we know, we're talking about your bald spot that's growing.
Now I'm going to let it go back to intelligence land. Dan and you three, go ahead, and I'll chime in with some circus monkey stuff in a minute. Go ahead.
Hey, audience. Hey, just real quick here. Please do reply. We do want your feedback. Is what does freedom mean or look like to you? While we're still talking about someone's vanity and hair falling out. So please.
Oh, and I asked the audience, who else hair can I touch? I want to touch everybody's hair now. Thank you. All right. So if I can touch your hair, you put yes in.
See, I don't want to get you in trouble because that's my thing, right? So I don't know. You see what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't want anything
never heard that.
You with somebody.
I don't know what you were. If you were saying something deep, I missed it. All I heard was I could touch your hair, and I was like, "Dadgummit, you didn't say that." We talked for 10 hours, and you didn't tell me I could do it. Now I'm mad at you. That's okay.
No, what I'm saying is, I don't want you to get in trouble trying to touch somebody else's hair, thinking that you see what I'm saying. You need to ask them first.
So if I just touch random strangers' heads, they won't like just you. Okay.
And
all right, well,
and Sia told you about her thing too. So be careful.
Yeah. You don't touch Asian people's heads, just throwing it up. Yep. Nope. I don't care how short we are. I don't care how cute and petite we are. You touch my head, I swear to God, I will drop kick you. Well, that's
You-
I'll
hey,
drop
Dan,
kick you for other reasons, but not because of that necessarily. Maybe I should rephrase that.
Mike, I'm
Dan,
sorry that
does
I'm having this
anybody trust
reaction,
your?
but you have no idea how offensive what you're saying is going to be to some people. Like,
Oh,
Who's that? Me?
honestly, it's going to be
Me?
seriously offensive.
For me?
Yeah,
Those people don't need
this
watch
is
my show.
not a
I don't
joke
go
to a
there.
lot of people in the Black
I
community.
was cut out for 10 minutes on my show. All I heard was my good buddy say I could touch her hair, and that pissed me off. So if somebody don't like it, you can feel free just to leave. But she knows my heart, and I'm innocent. But you don't look like a guy that anybody would walk up and touch their head, though. You look like somebody I wouldn't do that to. So you wouldn't have to tell me about him.
I
But
wouldn't give a
see ya.
shit.
All right, so I got questions over here. What is the what? So what?
I like
When we
Trevor's
talk
comment
about,
here.
go ahead.
I like Trevor's comment here. I don't see how you can have both universal freedom and not also have a version of anarchy. I'm kind of intrigued at this statement, you guys. So what do you want to chew on that one a little bit here? And Trevor, that's a great statement. Who wants to take that?
Well, I
He
believe
also
that
works out of
is
a van.
true. Yeah, I think, that's the whole thing. There's good, there's bad, there's, it's all in your belief and your perspective. And so when we have conversations, that's just like, I didn't know about Asians not touching their hair, right? A lot of these things we don't know. And so we always, in a lot of times, take our own belief and put it on other people, whatever that experience is, instead of giving them the space to ask for their own perspective. So, we have these stereotypes that we have, oh, I'm not dating certain kind of person because I had a bad experience, rather than just letting everybody be their own person. And so when we come from a space of judgment, it's really, I just think in my own life, it was me thinking I was right about certain things, or my way was right, instead of even entertaining that both people could be right. Both people could be seeing something from a different vantage point, and based on where they're at, it looks different, so that's my thought about it. But it's based on whatever you choose to believe for yourself. What about
Yeah.
you, Dan? You're over there deep thinking.
I'm going to pass on this question. It's something I would need to think more about and sit with. And I just don't know that I could come to, for what I consider a reasonable response in the time frame. Like, there's some questions I could answer like that, but then others that I think, universal freedom and in the complete opposite when it comes to anarchy. This is something I would need to sit on. Apologies.
No apologies, man. It's a deep topic, right? This topic in general, right? Freedom in general is very uniquely American concept, but yet at the same time, it's universal from a humanity perspective, right? So we have to think about our lens, right? We're all Americans here. We're all Americans in this group, but very different perspectives of it. I do like Jody Lamb's input, though. Freedom to walk away from negativity and embrace a future of positive opportunities. I love that.
Yeah.
Opportunity to learn.
So Trevor also works out of his shed, so I like him automatically. And he's out there in Danland in California. So it looks like this. So everybody from Dallas to New York and where was it? Where's my other big audience at? Uganda. It's pretty much universal.
Nigeria.
You should walk up and touch a stranger anywhere, much less their hair. So we're all for an agreement. That's just weird on any level. So yeah, good. I'm glad I don't do that. And then number two, based on what you said, Sia, so in our country, in the U.S., what follows how are you? What do you do for a living? So our identities in this country are very much tied into who you are and in what people perceive of you and in your hierarchy and all that kind of mentality that we have in many countries, North America. But that's telling to me. That has a lot to do with our sanity or lack thereof, what we choose to do as a profession. And we see all these people who are unhappy doing the wrong profession because they were taught at 18, when you don't know what the hell you want in life, to do something of a status, kind of thing. And I've seen a lot of people in the pack and on LinkedIn and in life really struggle with, I mean, that's why we see people with doctorate degrees leaving and stuff. So Dan, this is something you can tackle. You know, does our culture in the US about so much emphasis on what we do and who we are career wise, how does that affect us and how we're happy and what we do and pursuing freedom in our job and whatnot, man? Do you see a correlation there with how we're so job oriented and us being happy?
I mean, do you want the politically correct answer, or do you want the uncomfortable truth?
Well, you're here on
That's what I would ask you.
Yeah, give me whatever you want.
The uncomfortable truth is that the only people that have the ability to have happiness within their jobs, within their lives, and correlate that back to the economic system are the top 2%, and primarily white men and women. When you look at the BIPOC community as a whole, it's more of having to work in order to do things that make them happy, because the system doesn't work. The system isn't constructed to work on behalf of everyone. Even the concept, even the idea of doing something that you love seems foreign to many people, because that's not the reality that they live in. So yeah, the hope is that you could work in a place that brings you joy while also making money. But there's a very small percentage that actually get to do it.
Yeah, and I'm going to circle back to what Dan said. Trevor said, dear SuperMom, did you meet Oprah? She's talking to Oprah. That's me and her right now. Did you meet Oprah?
Not yet. So, hey, if you guys got some connections, those of you that are watching, we are excited. But
that's cute. You sound like Oprah's watching me right now. That's
yeah. I mean, she, somebody's gonna get to her, right? So you just have to be ready. But I was just thinking that. Yeah, I love that. As I was listening to Dan, I think sometimes we minimize the value that we can do in everyday things, because we can talk about like rebuilding the world and everybody kumbaya, but I think if we just do the everyday things in a way that creates a difference by leading by example. And it's like that post you did, Mike, where you were talking about, teaching our children, right? So it's the things that we do every day. Simply saying hello to somebody, holding the door for them, regardless of their color or age or anything like that. And so as we do these things to really recognize that we're all in this together, it's that behavior that we do over and over in the everyday things in our normal routine that will, I believe, make a difference.
I'm with you. And Dan's glitching real bad, so hopefully he'll come back. But to his point on the happiness, it's sad. I mean, again, we'll talk about this because I love to know your ladies' perspectives on this. But the top 2 or 5%, right? But that's also, in my opinion, what drove me to leave the comfort of corporate. I didn't like corporations, like working in a corporation. It wasn't for me. I don't knock at people who work in corporations. It just wasn't for me. And all those issues and how I felt drove me, because I was scared to leave a job. But I was so like tired of it that it pushed me to get good at being an entrepreneur, right? And a business guy, because I was, it was one of those things. So I want to circle back. I want to get y'all's opinion on this. And real quick, LaChelle, you and I were talking about this. We talked about this many times when it comes to freedom and treating each other well. Immediately, I talked about me and you. I said, look, we got way more in common than we do difference, right? Because like I said, I don't let people touch me, but you're nice and you like knickknacks. We're different people on the outside. But on the inside, man, it was like love at first sight, was it not? Like it was the most fun show I ever had. It was the second show I did after Sia. Sia gave me a pity show because I was really sad after getting beat up on that first show. And then I came to your show and your live stream, and you made me look good. And that's not easy. Ask Sia. So, boy, And you and I were chatting about it. And here's the smart thing I want to say today. Just one thing. I said, like me and you see wise and unwise people and nice and not nice people and skillful and
Right.
unskillful. We don't really see good and bad. And we daggum sure don't see color. And I said,
Right.
and we were talking about, February. And I said, ain't that what his speech was all about, Martin Luther King Jr.? Like, that's what he was saying, wasn't it? Just see people for what they are, man. All this goofy
Yeah.
stuff. Like, if we could just drop all that nonsense and start looking at people from the inside out, man, life gets a lot easier. Jobs get easier. Life gets easier, man. What do you think?
It's so true. And I mean, I have never met a redneck coach before. And, one of the things that I think that was the best part of that conversation, because, I never meet my guests usually before I do a podcast. And so I don't know what to expect. I just really am present. And I love to see people being comfortable in their own skin, because it's like we're having a real conversation. I don't feel like they have these walls up, trying to say the perfect thing. It just flows because we're seeing the real person. And, it just makes for a great conversation. So I think when people feel that they can be seen, that's the important thing, because I'm tired of it. I spent 13 years trying to live behind a mask. And I was listening to this podcast one time, and the person said, one thing about a mask is if you have it on long enough, it can stick to your face and you can't breathe, and it can eventually suck the life out of you. So if you're thinking about a real mask that you put on. So I mean, that almost happened to me. It took me 3 hospitalizations to figure out this is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna be who I am. Okay, my office is a mess. Oh well, you can come and help me clean it up. All right. So that's just how I feel about it.
See ya. You've been a little quiet, little birdie over there. What you think?
Only because I'm reading the comments, and you know how I have multitasking issues. So
Yeah.
no, you know what? The whole thing about creating like having these authentic conversations, I know that word is starting to become like just beat down, right? Are you authentic? Are you who you really are? Are you really representing what you are? Blah, blah, blah. Like, in my corporate life, I felt like I had to represent the brand entity that I represented, right?
Yeah.
And I worked for a multi-billion-dollar company, a Fortune 100 company, Fortune 50 at one point, or actually is one of the top ones. But I couldn't be just Sia, right? I mean, there was Sia to a point. And, even the idea of getting on live streams, like with my corporate tech clients, they would literally say, oh, yeah, well, I need to, get this passed through with PR comms team. And you were like talking about their 5-year-old, lemonade stand story. And they had to get approval from legal for that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's where there's a challenge of like, depending on your perspective, again, perspective, right? That lens of which we're approaching is corporate. There is some reality. You can be authentically corporate self. And then, of course, if you're an entrepreneur, right, or, small business owner, or you don't have, a corporate entity over your head, you could be so much more yourself, right? You can be what you want to be in living color.
In living color.
Hey, Anton, remember my favorite clip with Anton? Remember he was in the homeless dude, and he would take he dug in his nose. He was at the recruiter. He was at the Army recruiter, and he said, "Camouflage this for me," right?
My one, Fire Marshal Bill. Okay, Jim Carrey was crazy, burning up.
Watch it now. Watch it now. I was a fireman, so I don't know if I don't want to laugh at that. That made me mad. I don't know. So and this again, it's going somewhere, because we're talking about freedom, and I was talking to Becky about this, Becky Wolf. So hopefully she don't get mad. But we were talking about pay equality, right? And women. I said, no, women are getting paid more. And she bring out her little book and the statistics. I said, no, I don't know what that says, but I know that I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, and 7% are women. You know why pay equality is getting better? Because they get tired of the shit and they start their own business that hires people that pays right. I was like, that So if it ain't going to get fixed from the top down, it sure as hell is going to get fixed from the side out. And I love that. And I think that's what it takes, because a lot of the people, but ladies, they're like, well, I never sought out to be an entrepreneur. It was hard work, but hard to me was putting up with this crap for, another 10 years, right? Like getting laid off. And then you're 51. You're 51 years old and you're too old to get hired. Are you serious? That's old now? Oh,
Mike,
don't even get me started. Don't even get me
Mike.
started. Nuts.
Dude, let me just tell you, it's anecdotally, but it's backed by fact, anecdotally, locally here in Texas speaking. My position was eliminated, and shockingly enough, everyone around my age and older, unless you had a VP title or a director going into VP role, were optioned to either find another role within the organization or you're just going to leave. And I ended up taking a package because I just wasn't believing what I was doing anymore. But dude, I'm not that old, but yeah, it's a very real thing. The older we get, the more we cost the organization healthcare, right? We're not, we get more expensive the older we get, right? Our salaries, because of our experiences, we are paid, right? Well, if you can hire two people that are fresh out of college and they don't have the expensive healthcare, you know what? If that employer doesn't value you in that way, this is the kind of things that we're seeing and happening. And you know what? For anyone that's up until like 45, 50-ish years old, I hope you're saving a lot of money, because that's why the gig economy is existing now. Because we can be our solopreneur, because people will pay for us. They just don't want to hire us.
I don't want to call her out. But this lady, this sweet lady, been a teacher for decades, 71 years old, looks like she's 40. Good, hats off. We must have the same Avon lady, wrinkle cream and stuff like that. Just I couldn't get over, because my family aged like milk. Everybody else aged like fine wine. I aged like milk. So that's not good. So anyway, and you see this. You see people that are 60s, 70s plus going out here. Like there's a guy I love him. I can't remember his name. Teaches LinkedIn growth and networking. And he's tagging me all the time. And the dude is the realest guy. And he's fairly older than me. And so I love that it's women. It's just anybody just getting pissed off and doing something about it. And this is what this pack's about. It's like, dude, just take some steps out there. Don't be afraid. I said, well, I don't have any confidence. Shit, me neither. I said, I have courage to look like a jackass until I get the confidence and skill to get better. And you do some great. Look at all the people here, man. They do great things. Like nobody told Trevor he was going to be great. He just started doing some stuff. Probably wasn't that great, and then he got good. He got real good. Then that's it, guys. Don't overcomplicate it.
Well, I think the key is knowing how to deflect the attention, right? So you have people focus on a different thing until you get that worked out, So, you got to look at the bright side. And so if you're able to pivot and navigate through that, I mean, it's no different than a parent. You have a plate full of food. You want them to not focus on the vegetables that are on there, but you do want them to eat them. So, it's all about presentation. And I think a lot of times, I love what you said about the courage, because if you just take that window of time just to get out there, you'll figure it out, when you get on these platforms or have certain audiences.
Hey, I'm with Mac. Mac. Hey, I'm shameless plug right here, buddy. If you're an angry woman or you're an old person, you come over here. I'll find work for you, Mac. Hey, I'll build my empire bigger. I'll just have nothing but a bunch of mad and angry people, and we'll make some stuff happen. Because that's what moved me. I didn't have the courage to go build nothing. I just got sick and tired of being sick and tired, guys, period. And I got tired of someone else controlling my time and income and making decisions that I had no part in. Tired of doing something that I couldn't pass on to my kids. Those kind of things. When I hit 40, I turned ornery as hell at 40. It was a great thing. I didn't care what you thought, anybody thought. And
freedom. There you go.
Yeah.
Say it. Freedom Day.
And young people are catching on. They pay attention to us older folks. They're listening to this going, the bridge is out, right? Don't do that. So I've got 22, 28-year-old women, 3 of them, like, well, I think I want to go do something. I said, then what the hell is holding you back? And it was like, how? I said, shit, join the club. Just start doing stuff. And be in a community like this. You got mentors everywhere, man. So I'm with it. Yeah. Mac, appreciate you, man.
Well, Mac hasn't met you. He has a good show on Saturdays on LinkedIn. He does an audio room every Saturday. So Mac meet Mike, Mike meet Mac.
Yeah, send me a connection request and drop it
I
on your
will.
send me an invite to the
Connect.
show so I can watch it. I found a show Friday that I was just there's shows everywhere, man. But this ain't the only community. But when I see other communities close knit doing great things, I reach out. I bring olive branches. I bring a whole olive tree. I'm like, hey, let's hang out.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be showing those. I know Rena Freeman Watts, Mark Reed, Zen Sandwich. They're going to come on here soon next week, and man, all boats rise. But it's just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
So see ya.
Collaboration is it.
My idioms are coming off on you, sir. My sayings are like rubbing off all you. I don't know if I said that properly. I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to be like sensitive to this stuff, huh? My sayings are influencing you, sir, in your train of thought.
Good. Well, Dan left, and I was like, well, hell, now I got to fill in and be a little smart. But Dan was the smart guy, and I was the clown. So now I had to kind of half and half it. So thank you, Dan. We miss you, Dan, and I gave you a shout out. Rewind it.
Yeah.
So and he went through all that work. All right.
I know.
He went through all that work just to get kicked off, man. I'm like, he didn't get kicked off. I don't want hate mail, but his connection broke.
Yeah, no, he literally sent me a picture text, you guys. Like, he goes, everything just blacked out, and it's literally a dead computer. Like, it's dead. Like, I'm like, dude, that's not a good sign, sir. Like, that's a laptop DEA.
Real quick. Dan is a good guy. Dan's a hard worker.
Yes, he is.
He's a good dad, great dad. And if you're looking for anything, if you know somebody who's hiring, you're hiring, man, reach out to Dan Roth. It's like rhymes with chicken broth. It's easy. DANROTH. All right. So you all go love on Dan. Put Dan and tag him when there's some good stuff out there. Recruiters, Dan, talk to Dan. All right. And Dan's a good guy.
And he's the father of twins. And he is with those twins, y'all. He did a podcast with me with the twins. Okay. So yeah.
And you never had me back. I just snuck in one day. See, okay, SuperMom let him come back, and I had to sneak in the back door to the last Zoom I was in. So if you would even think about hiring me, then you should hire Dan. That's tell you everything.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh man.
So thank you, Dan. We're gonna. I got a question.
I got last question.
Okay.
So get in where you fit in. And LaChelle, because Sia's just talked about this a little bit. So I want you two to comment. Last question on this. So again, people kind of know what they're in for when they set a introduction meeting with me, right? Meet and greet. And if they're not, boy, they sure as hell get a rude awakening real quick. So because I was talking to 3 of them, you'll see them here soon in March. 3 of the up and coming women, right, in their 20s. And they were just talking freely about, some of the things they see out there. And, they see people who are, big and, they got all these things going on and they're successful and all that. But they were talking to me about, not everybody, but just some they hadn't happened to see. And they said, smell off. Right? I don't want to say it. They smell. So they need some of this when they go, and it was real intriguing to me. So as they started talking, you could tell the whole freedom of the mind and they're young. They're trying to figure life out, right? So no one said, hey, we had to struggle. We had problems. We had doubts. We didn't know the answers and you're okay. Just me saying, hey, you're exactly where you're supposed to be and made them happy. Right. But here's what I don't know how it got going. I think I said this with Miss Raquel Flores, but we were talking and I said, listen, and again, I don't scream myself. I know I should. I said, listen, just because you're not well received or just because you're trying to do something. For example, if I'm selling adult magazines and I go down the street and I try to sell those magazines at the monastery, I'm probably, no matter how good I am and skillful I am, I probably won't sell any. Now, the abbot might be running around, right? They're not supposed to buy those magazines.
Might sell more than you think. No, I'm sorry.
That's what I'm saying. If the abbot was there, but assuming the abbot was there and it was there, and so they're not supposed to buy none of that. But and you walk away and you think, well, my skill set sucks. Oh, I'm not good at sales. I'm not good at connecting. Yeah, and that's what I see a lot of people out here doing, guys. I know it's a ridiculous analogy, but come on. Like, could you be
Mhm.
talking to the wrong audience? Hell yes, you are. I mean, if you could see me
Right.
at
Right.
like, could you imagine me at the upper deck of the Titanic doing this? Hell, I'd be thrown off. So, but you go to pig roast, I'm the guy. I'm the funniest guy there. So here's what I want. Instead, you walk out of the monastery with your little dirty magazines. All right. And then you go down to the adult bookstore. I bet without any sales experience or skill or saying a word, you sell out if the price is
Right.
right. Right. My point
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
yeah, look, Nicole's like, oh my God, what did I get into? And yeah. So Mac, I don't know. Mac, I can see Mac is this big, but he looks like a guy that can get that. If anybody got that analogy, Mac would probably be the dude based on just looking at the picture. So my point is, I want you guys to stop compete, but don't compare. All right, stop comparing yourself to everybody out
Right.
there, and instead ask yourself, "Am I in the right place?" Right? Again,
Mhm.
wearing a white dress is okay at a wedding if it's your wedding, all right? But wearing a white dress at a
Mhm.
funeral, that's supposed to be a little tacky, right? So see, I told you I hung around women. I'm an honorary woman. See, I told you. See, is like, I don't even know what he's talking about. She don't even wear dresses. I know, I said it. So,
I don't. Not anymore.
so
Not anymore. Not anymore.
yeah. So
I don't
really
wear
get you-
heels. I don't wear heels, so I feel you.
Me neither. But getting in where you fit in. So, what is your perspective on this? On getting in where you fit in? Maybe you just
Mhm.
doing the wrong thing with the wrong people. Tell me a story or something about this. We'll close.
I'm gonna let you take this, Thea.
I mean, it's a story of my fracking life, man. I'm in 20 years plus sales, right? So,
Right.
knowing your audience is absolutely critical. And I want to make sure I pronounce your name correctly. Is it Annie Osung? Unless
Thanks.
you're saying the right message to the right people at the right time,
Mhm.
marketing never works. And it is the
I
same
believe it.
philosophy with addiction, right? Like you ain't gonna quit until you're ready, until you know it, it's you that decides that you're ready for that next step, right? And it's a deeply personal thing. And so whenever you're communicating with others, again, it's about perspective, LaChelle, as we were all talking, right? Like just because it's okay to pat your sister on the head, don't
Okay.
make it right to pat the random person down the street on their head or trip them or whatever, right? So,
Exactly.
Hey,
that's what. And I know you're
my
taller than
buddy.
me, and you don't have the compulsion to pat. I just know you. It's fine.
I would pat you. I would get beat up so hard by you, man. Wow. I can't go to Dallas. We have to reroute my trip this summer. All right. So Benita Lee wants to know, why does Mike have a roll of toilet paper? It works on your face as well as your backside. This redneck. That's why you need to show up on time when you come to my show, so you know what the hell I'm talking about. All right. So it works up here as well as down here. Okay.
No,
I have a
that's
sign of
the
perfection.
giveaway. You got to give that away to the most engaged
Oh my god.
participant here on the chat. They get a roll of toilet paper.
And it would be like branded,
Yeah, and it's so practical, right?
How
And
you
Michael
You can
Gill's
use it at an
Michael.
outhouse.
oh my
It-
gosh.
it's some
Oh, yeah.
super toilet paper that changes into stuff like a poncho and
Okay,
The
I'm kind of
redneck
loving this
merch.
theme. I'm loving
The
this direction
redneck
we're going here,
merch.
Mike. Toilet paper and leotards. Why would we need it? And also, Mac, I'm dying right now. Like, I just love the fact that I love Rocky Horror. Any reference to it? I literally have a signed autograph from Tim Curry right there
Wow.
on my wall. And so, yes, heels. Yes, any man that ever wears heels, they have a profound respect for women after that. So that's thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Hey,
Oh,
by the way, Mac, this is actually 2-ply, brother. Because I was going to sit here and tear the plies apart. But no, man, you get the whole, when the redneck merch goes out, it's 2-ply.
You know
Have
what?
hats.
I think you've missed your calling. You need to be a comedian, okay?
oh no, he's natural timing. He's got incredible timing. Oh my gosh. Now
No.
this is Benita right here. Benita will go right down that rabbit hole with Mike. And that's what I love about these two. Like, she's like, okay, we're going to go there. Let's go. I'm surprised you don't have toilet paper in your beard, Mike.
Okay, hey, Benita, I'm going to come to your book club finally, and I'm going to tear that book club all to hell. Okay, so you better not
Oh,
let me in.
Lord.
Yes, ma'am. Next time you have
Okay,
a book
what
club
book are
meeting,
they reading, Mike? What
who
book?
cares?
I'm a book fanatic. Okay.
Nobody cares because I'm going to come in with toilet paper. I'm going to toilet paper the whole book club. Bap. Picking on me. I got low self-esteem and bad confidence, Benita. Don't do that. All right. So, look, who needs good questions? We had serious talk, and now we just, man, it's 8. Oh, it's 8:30.
Yeah, we're
Oh,
running
man.
long, my friend. My friend.
Man, we
Yeah.
got 5 minutes, or I'm going to have to pay Sia overtime, and that ain't going to happen. So, all right. So, hey, ladies, any last thing? Because anything nonsensical. LaChelle, tell us what people should do if they want to engage with all the good stuff, positivity, all the fun. You have fun. You just don't sit there and preach to people. You have fun. They learn on accident. That's why my goofy
I
butt's
don't
here
do any
with you.
preaching. Okay. So I'm taking that definitely out. I don't preach at all.
Yeah, no, you don't. You have fun, and then I walk away and say, "Damn, I think I learned something." That's what you do, right?
Yeah.
So good for you.
Even this, I mean, I've had a great time tonight. I love being in your company because, humor is important. That's one of my tenets, right? I believe that we all need to check in with a smile every day. And I have my little cards here to remind me they're everywhere, my little mug. But for me, smiling is being proactive with our mental wellness. So it stands for sleep, mood, inner voice, laughter, and energy. So when I was going through depression, I was really at a deficit in all those areas. And once I learned to overcome that depression, that's what helped me maintain a life depression free, was making sure that I followed those 5 elements every day. So
I
that's
wouldn't. It cut out. I didn't mean to rudely interrupt you this time. I did the other times, but not this time. I'm sorry. So, so, but see, would for me, you can agree with this or just ignore it. I wouldn't care about people to the level I care about people if I didn't have struggles and depression and know what they're going through. You know what I mean? Like I'm not. I may be quick to judge, but boy, I'm also quick to slow the hell down and try to understand somebody because I wasn't the most attractive, likable dude for a long time either. And so I love your approach with you have a lot of empathy because you've been through a lot of crap, right?
Amen. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like, just like I said, this conversation has been really good because you have to, I mean, we make things harder than they have to be because, we've had so many influences. Oh, you can't say that. That's not the right thing to say. Or,
Right.
you got to be politically correct, but people just need to be themselves. And we're going to ask the questions that we're curious about, which is going to help us. Why would I come and ask some questions that I think, is politically correct, but that may not be what I want to find out. So if you're in a space where you feel that people are approachable, that's what's important, because then you can get their insight and learn and really ask them questions and learn. So that's my approach.
You know
on
what?
that.
I love it. I love it, LaChelle, because when you said that, see a cringe like, oh no, like I'm gonna pull Mike's plug. But it's okay. Because look, when I don't do the mainstream and the PC, here's what I go by. Respect.
Yeah.
Long before PC existed, there was a thing called respect. And that means that you come in and act respectful no matter how the hell you thought about somebody. And 2 things happen. You leave or you get your ass kicked. Right? So to me, it's real simple. Or yeah, because if you don't leave, then the next thing is get your butt kicked. So and that's the country way, by the way. That's a lot of ways, but that's real prevalent in the South. So if I walk into a place and I don't like what you're saying, I don't argue. I don't change the scenery. You know what I do? Guess what I do? Real groundbreaking
Just
stuff.
leave.
I get the hell out of there. Exactly.
That's
And
right.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say. Go spread positivity rather than divisiveness. Any chance you
Amen.
get. That's almost.
Yeah. Because I mean, we've got some hard stuff to deal with, I mean, in case people aren't paying attention, living under a rock. I don't watch the news, so people might wonder if I do live under a rock. But, it is hard economically for a lot of people. A lot of people have suffered a lot of losses because of this pandemic. And not to say that that's the only reason. I mean, I think there's certain issues that we might have had that have gotten heightened. Even if I think about in my own life, I was able to really have more engaging time with my kids because it's a revolving door around here. They're either at work or they're staying after for practice, and I don't have some of those meaningful times with them. But when we're able to really understand and have empathy for other people, then it's going to be a lot better for everybody. But being in a space to where we feel that we can have some real conversations can help us with some real solutions that can help not just ourselves, but everybody, in our community. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about what you're doing, with the community that we have here, keeping people engaged, because so often you think you're alone, so people sometimes feel like, oh my gosh, I'm in a chat group or whatever, a community, and I feel like it's just overwhelming. But so many people, they're alone. They just have virtual connections, whatever that may look like. And so really understanding and being empathetic and being a sounding board for people. You might have had a room full of coworkers, but now you're living at working at home and you don't talk to anybody. So just realizing that it is this give and take, but also that communication, which is so important to even find out what people need.
Oprah,
I can go.
Oprah, if Oprah's still watching this, yes, we're still on it for our manicure this Saturday, Oprah. And go get this lady out there. All right, fly her out to wherever you're at. And you can come with us. All right. So hey,
It's coming.
before everybody
Yeah.
runs away from my show, think it's over. All right, it's not over. All right, March is Women's Month. That's our month. All right, that's our month. And so I want you to send me a message on LinkedIn, okay, or carrier pigeon or email or whatever you want. But here's what I need. And again, I talked about this at the beginning of the show. We're going to pair people coming in, either up and comers, right, out of college, new to your career, with women who have been there, done that. And we're going to mentor and talk about that and get to the real of that in all of March. So four areas. If you're thinking about, and I'll post this out there so you can see it later, but if you're thinking about writing a book one day, or you've already wrote and published a book, present company included, all right, I like to talk to you. I think you would be a good fit probably on this show. All right, talk to me about it. Send me a message. All right, if you're in law school and you're an experienced attorney, guess what I want to do? All right, pair med student, nurse, doctors, experienced doctors and nurses. And then I'm looking for, at this point, by about 4 or 5 people going from corporate into business ownership. All right. So, and if you have another one that I didn't think about that's really interesting, send me that too. Okay. But I want to connect people. LaChelle, your community, that's what it's the same. It's just, like I share you, you share me. All right. I love it. And Sia, you're a connector. You're always, you got, I had an idea on a Friday night, and then Sia's in overdrive putting Raquel Flores Connection Corner together in like nanoseconds, like 2 weeks ago, man. And again, why about that? Because I don't want 5,000 people depending on me, man. That's a lot of kids. That's even more than you got, LaChelle. So I don't want 5,000 people depend on me. I want a bunch of independent leaders that I help produce that can go out there. And then guess what? When I need some help, guess who I got to call? I got to call you 10. And because you could talk to the other hundreds in your communities. And that's how I think about these things. All right. So I'm all about helping people independence, because you can leave me if you want to. You'd be crazy as hell to do that, but you can, right? And I want people to be free to do what they want to do. But I want them to be here because you see true value and it's worth your time. Because if it's not, I wish you well, man. So I love everybody in the chat, all the comments, everybody doing their thing. Yeah, man, it's you all make it happen. You get me excited, happy, love it. And before we go, I want to give a plug and a picture up there. Make sure you check out Awesome Pack Leader doing her thing, man, making it happen. Miss Raquel Flores. What did she say? I sounded like Terminator.
I don't know what the hell it sounds like, but it doesn't sound like what it should sound like. If you want that, no. Raquel Flores, and you know what? Raquel's gonna kill me. I don't have a graphic of her. I thought I had it. Sorry.
Right.
I love you. Well, we'll promote you on
Raquel.
Saturday. Everyone, if you liked tonight, there's Saturday. Raquel and I will be in the Connection Corner chatting it up with our next guest there. And then I'm just going to take over and plug, because if I don't, Mike will be talking for another 45 minutes. Tuesdays, live stream. I have Not on This Business Bites. It's a 15-minute podcast topic, talking about one topic, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Mom, LaChelle, your show, what time again? Dates?
Oh, say that again now.
So for your content that you push out, anything that we should have, that we should expect, or we can promote it out?
Oh,
now?
yeah. You know what? I was reading the comments. I'm like you. I can't multitask. But I have a room tomorrow. It's an audio room at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're doing a book study on Connected to Goodness, a book by David Meltzer. So would love for everybody to join us. It's just an hour. But thanks,
Beautiful.
Mike and Sia, for having me. I've had so much fun. This has been
My
wonderful.
pleasure.
Oh, it's always a pleasure. It's like, this is the whole idea of the Hounds, right? Of connecting and networking. I'm hoping everyone reach out to Mac. Apparently he's writing a book as well and needs some guidance on that. We know tons of writers. Like, all these books are people that I've talked to over time, and I'm all about cross promoting. So Mac, hurry up and write your book so I can promote you as well. And anyone and everyone, seriously, reach out to our good friend at Redneck One, as we know is good old Mikey Poo. And you know,
redneck merch coming soon, baby. Y'all get ready. Oh, Christmas in July, it's coming,
dude. You know,
Christmas in July is coming.
We need to absolutely merch that, dude. Like, it's better than
I'm
corn
gonna
on the cob.
look when it comes. I'm gonna have that clip of you singing. So hey, I'm getting that together.
Yeah, hey, we can play that anytime you want to. Anytime you want to, because they'll be mad at you for once. They'll be mad at you for once.
I'm having another Christmas in July, so I'm saving that.
Hey, I'm bringing it. I'm bringing it. All right. Well, hey, ladies, people in the audience, comment, pack leaders, all these people, man, y'all make me so happy. Reach out to me, reach out to each other. Hey, see a roll the outro, save these people. Save them before it goes to midnight.
Hey guys, have a great week.
See you soon.
Bye, everybody.
Thank y'all for stopping by. Be sure to follow, share, and like, and send me a message if you had fun today. Y'all come back now.